the table
Go on.
that I actually think makes Arsenal very good. Why don't Arsenal go sign Jarrod Bowen?
He plays on the right though.
He's a left-footed right winger.
He plays Saka's position.
I think you can move Saka to the left because he's technical enough to play there.
Shift Saka.
And then you have Bowen goal scoring.
No.
You got Bowen goal scoring.
There is no trying and stuff like this. Like
okay, but anyway, regardless, I understand.
That was a howler, bro. That was a howler, wasn't it?
The problem is at the start. The problem is at the start of the window. Like even on the football terrace, we came here. Okay, here's the thing. There are Arsenal fans right now that are coping. There are Arsenal fans right now that are angry. There are Arsenal fans that are in the middle. Now, even on the football terrace, on straight facts, that's such a shit point, bro. That makes no sense. Or he played for City. Who gives a fuck? So you wouldn't take KDB? You wouldn't take Haaland?
The majority of the Man City players that won the league the first time played for Arsenal. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, bro. Come on, man. I take... Yeah, Bakary Sanya, Samir Nasri. Anyway, I just want to say one thing. The problem is we come on those straight facts, we come on the football terrace, and we read reports, and we read journalists. And at the start of the window, it was like Zubimendi, Rodrigo, Isak, Zubimendi, Rodrigo, Gyökeres. Now it's like, okay, they might get Semenyo, you know, they're going to get Sesko. So obviously there's like, you know, we're dropping down in quality here, like step by step. Like, I'm just saying, like, even if the Semenyo thing doesn't happen, like, what else goes on then?
I've got a name.
Can I ask you something? Is Semenyo better than Neto?
This season he was.
This season, yes.
From an outputs perspective, he was. I think the way that he dribbles past people well, like he had decent. Well, I think he scored 11 league goals for Bournemouth. It's not bad. Like, it's pretty damn good. How many goals did Neto get this year?
Nothing, like 4 or 5.
Yeah, Neto didn't have a good season.
You know, and the one thing I would say about Semenyo is...
And he actually stayed fit all year, which was his problem at Wolves.
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah, exactly. Like, he's very fit. I've got a name for you. I've got a name for the left-hand side.
It was Diaz.
No. He's Gambasa. Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, that would be a better signing than Semenyo.
No.
Why?
Arsenal are a team that is smother oppositions. There's a lot of pressure there. There's a lot of pressure to deliver. I am not sure that Marcus Rashford will be able to cope with the pressure if things go a little bit south, like within like 5 weeks or 6 weeks. I don't think he has the mental capacity to actually get back to his best with the pressure on Arsenal this season. I think he needs free-flowing football, spaces to work. I think he needs a less pressure team, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to go back to his best at Arsenal.
Should Arsenal save another Manchester City player and sign Jack Grealish?
What the fuck, bro?
His mic turned off and I know he told me to fuck off just now.
The thing is, right? I mentioned Rashford because the player that we saw, I thought he was excellent at Villa, and his injury just came at the wrong time. If Emery keeps him on the pitch, I think they knock PSG out of the Champions League, and Inter Milan might be the champions right now, right? That decision by Unai Emery helped to cost you, man, a potential Champions League, because they were on the ropes, and Rashford was. I mean, you actually think about the fact you barely laid a glove. Rashford, for that whole second half, was cutting through that PSG team like a hot knife through melting butter. And I just think that Rashford, I've always rated him as a player. So I'm not trying to like offload a player because I want him out of Man United. I'm talking about I don't want to see him go to Arsenal. I've said this the whole time. But for the right money, it could be possible. I think in that team, in that system, with the bit between his teeth, like we saw at Villa, but with better players around him, because I do think Arsenal are the better team. I do think Arsenal have the better squad. I think he could kill it for him. I think he could go in there and he could easily score them 20, 25 goals in all comps. And the one thing we haven't seen Rashford in for many years, or hardly ever at United, is a well-drilled team. And look, people can hate Arsenal all they want. They are the one thing you can't call them is not a well-drilled team. They play good football. They're hard to beat. They barely lose games. I think he could do brilliantly there. And I'm only mentioning him because we're talking about alternatives to the 2 or 3 main targets. And Nico Williams looks like he might sign a new deal. Nico Williams gives me those same vibes that I understand that people have about Zubimendi. He's got this affinity with Bilbao, and he may stay there. He is, and he might stay.
Let me ask finish the point because I need to ask you straight question.
The Rodrigo deal. Listen, Arsenal should be all over it, but
Thank you.
They should be. However, there is a big however here that we can't blame Arsenal for. We can't blame Arsenal for Rodrigo wanting to be a Real Madrid player, the new manager saying you're integral to my plans, and the player being bought into his ideas. That's like saying, why don't Man United go out and buy Mo Salah? It's unattainable. You can't blame a club for not signing an unattainable player. If Rodrigo wants to stay at Madrid, let's be blunt. People say always defend Arsenal. I don't think this isn't defending them. It's being honest. They have no ability to pull Rodrigo away from Madrid if Rodrigo is 100% committed to Madrid. Why would anybody leave Madrid to play for Arsenal, to play for Man United as we are right now? There's only 1 or 2 teams they might go for, but it's so hard to turn those players' heads. He's at the, especially for a South American who, Madrid are the pinnacle of European football. He's there. So they have to look at alternatives. So Nico Williams has got his issues. Rodrigo, they're now saying, has gone from a player that was wanting to leave to wants to stay because of Alonso. Who's the other main target? Jamie Gittins. I mean, again, I think Semenyo is better than Jamie Gittins. I think Semenyo is better than a lot of the other options. I think he would score and assist more than Martinelli. I think he's quicker and more powerful, and we know that's an important component. I don't necessarily think Semenyo is bad. Where I do agree with you, Hassam, it's the collective. So, for instance, say they do say the worst case scenario for Arsenal happens, and Zubimendi says, "I just want to stay by the mountains. I changed my mind," and then you've got Hassam and you've got Ty saying, "I hope there's a bug on your food." Right? Say that happens, and Šeško picks Liverpool, and Gyökeres picks Man United, and Mateta sticks at Palace, and they end up signing, I don't know, Chris Wood, right? And then they end up, or maybe it is Mateta they get, right? Who's good, but not the Gyökeres, Osimhen level. And then they get Semenyo. And then in the midfield, they go and buy Hackney instead of Zubimendi. Hackney's pretty good, by the way. But then I think the Semenyo deal looks bad. But if they do get Zubimendi, if they do sign a Gyökeres, and then you've got Semenyo being added to it.
Great. That's great.
It's the collective. So for me, that's what I'm being very clear about here is I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm stating as an isolated piece of business, I think Semenyo's good, but it's also about what else do they do? It's
all together.
It's more the collective for me than it is one individual.
I want to ask you something straight. People are saying you're an Arsenal fan, but I'm just going to say you're fair about the title race. So is Hassam, by the way. Semenyo, Šeško, Saka, Odegaard, Zubimendi. I'm just going to give you best case scenario for Arsenal, right? Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Šeško, Semenyo. Would that win the league for Arsenal?
Say that again.
Nope.
Say that again for me, please, brother. Say that again. I didn't hear it. Sorry, I was reading something. Sorry, my apologies.
Zubimendi, Rice, Odegaard, Šeško, Saka, Semenyo. While Liverpool get Verts, Liverpool are going to get a striker. Man City Man City get Shirky and Reinders. Would that win the league for Arsenal?
Nope. They wouldn't. It could, but they wouldn't.
Challenge.
They could, but they wouldn't be my favorite. Do you know what you saying? Šeško and Semenyo.
Šeško, Saka, Semenyo, Odegaard, Zubimendi.
Yeah. I'm going to answer. What that does is this: they're in the title race, but until we see Šeško play ball in the Premier League, I don't know how he's going to do. Where if you take out Šeško and say Osimhen, and by the way, I rate Benjamin Šeško. I think he's a very good striker who could become world class. However, I don't know where he's at right now in terms of Premier League, right? So for me, my opinion is less, and it's only a pre-season opinion and it can change. I'd have to wait to see Šeško. For instance, if they signed Osimhen today, if they signed Gyökeres today and you put him into that mix, I think Gyökeres is scoring 30 Premier League goals for Arsenal. Therefore, they definitely...
Thank you.
But equally, they're still not my favourites to win the league with that team. I'm still going Liverpool.
But they're much closer, right? But they're much closer.
Yes.
Which is my opinion. No one guarantees the league. No, Liverpool are not even guaranteed the league. Man City are not guaranteed the league. We haven't seen Reinders play in the Premier League. We haven't seen Shirky play in the Premier League. We have seen Savinho tear it apart in La Liga, come to the Premier League We have seen Doku being, oh my God, it's great. And we've seen that. But we're talking on paper here. What we're talking about on paper, Liverpool and City will be marginally favorites above Arsenal if that happens. Can Arteta get the best out of Cisco and Semenyo and get them to win the league? It might. I'm not ruling it out. I'm not saying zero chance like other people. But I'm saying you sign Eucharist, you get a left winger in Semenyo, put that in the mix with Odegaard, Zubamendi, and Rice. Liverpool a little bit worried. Man City are worried.
Rob here says RVP scored 30 plus goals for us and we finished fourth. Yeah, but I don't think this team is already second 3 years running. And again, I'm talking about this, Rob. I really do rate Gyökeres. I think this man is so prolific. And I believe in an Arsenal team. I believe in a City team. I believe in a Liverpool team. I just think this man would kill it in the Premier League still. I don't buy into this notion of, there's so much space in Portugal. The report came out just 2 weeks ago. The Premier League has more transition attacks in it than any of the top 8 leagues in Europe. So there's a lot of space in our fucking leagues as well. Because by the way, a lot of the teams attack these days. A lot of teams attack, and there's a lot of counter pressing and counter attack from that space. But equally, we're talking about an Arsenal team that's been this close to winning the league 2 of the last 3 years. Did fall off in February this year, there's no doubt. But one of the reasons you fell off is because you didn't have enough goal scorers killing games off earlier on in the season. But even before the injuries, the amount of games you man had from August through to December where you were the better team, but you drew. You were the better team, but you might have lost because you were just missing chances or there wasn't someone on the end of them. You didn't have that out-and-out number 9. So for me, I think you, up until your injuries and then those losses that you had that killed the season in February, you would have been within a couple of points of Liverpool, in my opinion, if you'd have had someone of Gyökeres' level. But what you can't ignore in that conversation is we're not just talking Gyökeres' potential goals. We're speaking about the brilliance and the line-breaking passes and the control that Zubimendi would bring to that midfield. It's a new contrast to what opponents are used to. I'm talking about a player like Semenyo. I think what he has over Martinelli, massive. Martinelli's got skill. Martinelli can beat a man. But you look at the size difference in the two. We're talking just pure physics here. Semenyo can burst past someone. He's much stronger. The amount of times Martinelli will get past someone, as they start catching up, they can outmuscle him. Where Semenyo is very, very hard to keep off the ball. You add all 3 of them to this team, that could be the difference between coming second again and winning the league. I think.
Can I give